So now I know recording is in progress, very loud and clear. I'd better make that a bit quieter. Hare Krishna, Guru Gauranga, Guru Gauranga. So dear devotees, welcome. It's 2:00 in the morning, it's London. And here we are happily with you. And with Maheshwari Aparajita Devi Dasi Harini Amarinda Seva Rupa Bimal Krishna in Ishta Devi Devi Dasi. And last but not least, Sri Govinda Farm Prabhu. Sri Govinda Farm Ashram Leelaboy Prabhu. All right. So we've got a child. Well, somehow the backdrop is yin and yang or something like that. But it's all right. It's all good. If it's in service. Jai Rupanuga Prabhu, he just joined us too. All right. And on Facebook, then I also have the opportunity to see on Facebook. I'll turn the Facebook on while we chant the Vandanam as we do. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitantang Sajivam Sadvaitam Sahavadutam Parijana Sahitan Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitangscha Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Anmilitam Jaina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurataje Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So just give me 1 second to put on the Facebook so I can see, I hope, the devotees who are there. So those of you on Zoom, on Facebook, and on the recorded version, we're live to everybody at the same time. We know we do listen to recordings all the time, and we listen to recordings from 40 years, yes, 40 years ago. So what to speak of a few hours or a few days ago. Just one moment, back to basics. Let's see if we're live. We are. All right. So Madhava Prabhu, Tungarasa Devi Dasi. It's 2:00 in the morning for Tungarasa also. She's here in London. Surprise, surprise. We came, what day is it? And also we must be together on Sunday at 2 a.m. Yes, must be. All right, all is good. So I was surprised when I came to London that Sri Patridandi Maharaj was here at the program. Yes, but Kesavananda Prabhu was already here. He came and met me at the airport with Tungarasa and Pandita. And that was a very happy surprise because I'm a happy walker and the airport is just over there. That field on the other side of the road. So like it is a very near walk. But we took the long way and came in the car. So they're very kind. What a happy welcome. So today, Paramanandu had engaged us in some service, and I have right here for my link for today, I have the homework, which I didn't do. So perhaps it's good that Paramanandu is not here just now with us, so we don't get busted for not doing our homework about the 4 sampradayas. But we do know where to look, but maybe we should keep that for when he's with us. Gangalila Didi. Oh, my goodness, I am reporting back from hip replacement surgery. But Gangalila Didi did convince me when I was feeling, oh, that's incredible that such thing will take place. She did reassure me that no, people do get up quickly from this. And almost immediately are walking around. So, you know, the modern things in the world, some of the procedures and things, they are terrible to hear, but we know from those who are experienced too in the medical field that some of them, they are worthwhile. And some of them kind of, it's a, a hope for a better life afterwards, but that's not always so successful. So yes, these bodies are terrible places, and we are meeting devotees and hearing from devotees all the while who have the first-hand experience, not just the scriptural experience or hearing from others' experience, but the first-hand experience of the difficulties of the body. And here in London too, then there's a family just nearby, and the mother, she's very mentally agile and everything else, but the rest of the body is kind of not doing too well and coming in a wheelchair. But we're able to, to be in good spirits with her, asking her how fast it goes and so many other things. And she's a good lady, young at heart, but what can we do? Like a motor car. You can have a young at heart motor car, but doesn't really go very well. Hare Krishna. Okay, so let's open today by asking you for either contributions or questions. I am here to serve. I am here to serve each of you. I am here to serve everyone. So, yes, Ishtadevika. Oh, I thought you were reaching forward to click the on button for the microphone. Bimal Krishna, who's got long arms, he can reach that button.
Maharaj, I'll ask you, I'm just curious, when do you sleep?
Oh, no, I do sleep, yes.
A little?
Well, no, normally, really, but, we don't watch TV and do stuff like that. And I'm surprised there are TV programs on at 11 o'clock at night, midnight. What's everybody doing? I mean, they should be asleep in bed so they can get up early in the morning. But no, we're going on. And once we're up basically. And then, but it's also a fact. And this commented just a couple of days ago to a devotee. We do not know really what is sleep. And when you're very tired, like in the day, 20 minutes can seem like we wake up and it seems like you had an 8-hour rest. So what does happen when one rests? That's the question. And even Brahma, all respect, but you see, he has his day, he has his night. The gods, they live a long time, but they do have their day and night. And we don't want to include Vishnu in all of this, but Vishnu does also rest when we see in some ways, but it's a Leela, that's a different Leela. And by the way, when I first heard devotees or yoga people using the expression of yoga nidra for lying on their back and going to sleep, that grated with me, because yoga nidra, that is Vishnu's Leela, where he creates universes. Okay, create one universe. Well, and then I can say you're doing yoga nidra. Otherwise, it's misappropriation. So many things which are amazing become mundane. And I was actually shocked what can we say? Shocked, but I was shocked to hear what the yoga teacher was telling the yoga people in the place next to ours at a program some years ago. We had our Bhakti yoga section, and next door was a yoga section where they, I mean, next door it was an open area with all different, you know, not tents, but areas of. It was indoors in a large place, and areas of different activities. Someone's doing astrology, somebody's doing yoga, someone's doing, you know, Zen meditation, whatever it may be, and we are doing, I guess what, back to yoga. But next to me, it was entirely motivation of yoga for sensual exploitment, sensual exploiting. In other words, to enjoy your senses more directly by the dialogue of the woman who was teaching the students. And then, you know, you see how yoga gets completely misappropriated. And then words, sorry to pick up on the Americans here, we've got a lot of Americans present, I better be careful. But words like awesome, when we were young, really meant awesome. Like when the top of Mount Helens blew off. I saw a series of pictures in National Geographic, which devotee brought from the West to Gurudev, because Gurudev, he liked nature, so they thought, okay, we bring some National Geographic magazines. And I was looking through them one day, through them, yes. And one of them had a series of pictures of two backpackers, and their friend was taking their photo. Oh, I wear backpackers with Mount Helen, is it?
Mount St. Helens.
St. Helen, Mount St. Helen. Anyway, the mountain called St. Helens. And just by coincidence, they're taking the photo. And then while they're taking the photo of the two people eating their sandwiches and watching the mountain, seeing the beautiful scenery, then the mountain bubbled, and then it had a series of photos. And the whole of the top of the mountain blew off, and all the trees in the valley were flattened, big trees flattened. And the expression, it was just an amazing expression on the people's faces as it all took place. And they obviously weren't, you know, faking it. They were awestruck, like, what a power. That was awesome, you know. And now, you know, chocolate from the local shops also, that kind of breaks the power of the word awesome, you know, when it's misused all the while. So also things like yoga nidra, misused, unfortunately, disapproved by me. We can't say anything. What can we say? It just sounds so wrong. And we want to keep divinity divine and not drag it into this world. Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, can I ask a question?
Yes, you may.
So it's something I've been thinking about with the different sampradayas. It makes me wonder, because before I joined Armat, I was at a temple in Utah, and it's kind of ISKCON, but kind of not. They're disciples of Srila Prabhupada. But I went and I traveled South India with them, and we went to a lot of Vishnu temples, and like we went to Tirupathi, and you know, we saw the deity there. But I'm just curious, is the very fact, and like the fact that we're all here under Gurudev and like we're trying to worship Krishna, is that evidence of kind of like where our attraction lies? Because like for me, like being in South India, like, and being like, there are these temples that are very ancient and they're very beautiful, and you know, you see these deities, like there's tons of people lined up and they wait all day to have darshan. And you know, and like luckily, like we were kind of rushed through, because the ISKCON temple there in Tirupati, one of the devotees there, his brother was a government official or a relative of some sort, I think a brother. So we got in like very quickly, and we got a longer darshan. Then they usually are pushing people out, but it was like I couldn't wait to get up. Like we came and we went to Mayapur, you know, we went to Jagannath Puri, but I wanted to be like around Kirtan. I wanted to have Kirtan, and like I wanted to see Krishna. Like that felt that's where my attraction was. And so I'm just curious if like the very fact that we're all here now under Gurudev, does that speak something to like maybe, I don't know, like maybe our eternal forms in some way? I mean, obviously I don't know like what that is. I don't know who I really am, but like I think the very fact that, does that make any sense at all? Just
Sure. And when I've been to Tirupati once, when we went on a South Indian tour, as a pioneering tour, really, to try to see how practical it is to do as Srila Gurudev did, like going in the steps of Gurudev, and Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, and others also, I mean, of our creed and line, and oh, by the way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And so, we did go on some tour. I did go to Tirupati, and I have to admit, I'm hopeless when it comes to thinking, what are these people thinking? And you got the fast lane, and there is a fast way to go through with money. You pay. Actually, it's official, partly, as far as I understand. I think it's meant to be wholly official, but anyway, there is a way where you get into the fast lane by some extra donation to the Lord's servants. Okay, so anyhow, this happens, and but the queue for going in, it's like 12 hours. When I was there, it was something like 12 hours. But and then rushed in, like you say, rushed in front of the deity, pushed through. There's no question of giving obeisances like this in front of the deity. And so I don't think we can imagine what they're thinking, because the general persons who go, which they have good fortune to be attracted to go, etc. It's a tough one for us to think, oh, what are they thinking? But we should try to think what we should think. And that's been guided by Gurudev and Guru Maharaj. So it is good fortune to be able to have any touch of the upper world, and in those places in particular to have the touch of Mahaprabhu and our direct Guru Varga. And so this way, Srila Guru Maharaj told to Gurudev, and this Gurudev's told to us, and that, I mean, he's told us how Guru Maharaj told him, that when you do parikrama and take the parties, it should be connected with Mahaprabhu somehow. So he could give tick mark for some places and not tick mark for other places. As that's Gurudev's expression, tick mark. He's giving means tick. What is used today by Nike. Very simple trademark, but somehow or another it's everywhere. And well, maybe I have seen a Nike advert, but long before I saw a Nike advert as they jump in your face on YouTube, and then, we saw Nike everywhere, but a simple tick mark, something positive like that. So this expression, Gurudev saying, tick mark, Guru Maharaj should give tick mark for this plan. But to have the attraction to Krishna and to feel it's not our home, when we are Vishnu is there, devotion is there, there is some kind of kirtan going on in a spontaneous way amongst the crowd in different ways. It's just in a different language and unfamiliar to us, except some parts we can catch some of the things. But yes, our home is with Mahaprabhu Radha Krishna. And one thing for us, for the Westerners, and Srila Gurudev noted it too, is we have started, or we means the Westerners, we or not, that depends on where we kind of came in on the scene. But basically, Srila Prabhupada started in the West with almost a blank sheet. People didn't know anything. So he wasn't coming with the emphasis about the devas are different from the Vishnu forms. The Vishnu forms, this, they are different. They are the Lord's quality, Vishnu Tattva, all the Vishnu forms, and Matsya, Kurma, and Varaha Dev, and Vamana Dev, Nrsinga Dev, Vamana Dev, Parashurama, Ramachandra. I'm going to miss one out here, I'm sure. Ramachandra, Baladev. Oh, Buddha, Baladev, Buddha. And then through to, because Mahaprabhu is a hidden incarnation, then through to Kalki. So anyway, all of these, they're the 10 principal incarnations, as we see listed on calendars and other places in India when we see those, the auspicious type of calendar. And they're all Vishnu forms and all is pure. But when Srila Prabhupada came to the West, basically, there weren't people who already all their life have been worshipping a certain form of either the Devas or of the Supreme Lord in the form of many Vishnu forms. And so Srila Prabhupada was able to come directly with Mahaprabhu's message, with Nityananda's message and Mahaprabhu's message of Radha Krishna pastimes. So from word go, we've walked in the temple hearing about Radha Krishna and Gauranga. So we're not coming from an extensive world where, well, I don't want to say what the conception is, but where there's a wrong conception of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, where there's a wrong conception of Radha Krishna. And it's Leela of our gurus, of Gurudev and Guru Maharaj, but it's the Leela of Guru Maharaj that in the beginning, he didn't have attraction for Radha Krishna because of the moral aspect of it, but he was attracted to Ramachandra's pastimes. But we haven't, but this is Leela, and it is something like Venkatabhata in South India, Venkatabhata, pure devotee, but attracted to Vishnu, to the, not the Tirupathi temple, but the Ranganath temple, which probably you went to if you went to South India, I don't know. But it's a very big temple, but it's not on the top of the hill, so it's more accessible. Tirupati, I don't know if you walked up or not, but the classic thing is take off your shoes, leave them, with your buffalo cart, and then walk up all those steps to the top of the hill. But Ranganath, it's not on the top of the hill, but Venkatabhata, pure devotee of Vishnu, the opulent form of the Lord. And it took Mahaprabhu 4 months of the rainy season, basically, to convince him that Krishna is the origin of Vishnu. But you see, when we've come from nowhere, we've been given the first instruction. Who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Krishna. Okay. So we didn't have to relearn or accept another form of God above what we've had, in our heart and in our prayers ever since we were probably in the womb. In the case of the traditional good Vaishnava families in South India. So it is a good fortune because it is the age of Nitai and Gauranga. And in the background, Guru Maharaj will likely say, Gurudev will likely say, some good fortune is in the background. But that doesn't mean that we're going to put up a banner, oh, I'm better than you, this, that, and the other, oh, I've got good things. As soon as we start thinking we're qualified, we are unqualified. We can just say, we can utilize Srila Guru Maharaj's expression, which is beautiful from him. The English expression he quotes, we should thank our lucky stars. We have come so close to something so high. Never before given in the whole day of Brahma. Then we can really start looking on the calendar. Oh, how long is a day of Brahma? You know, our calendars that we have there, you know, we have possible sort of 10 different appointments in the day before the night comes. Well, Lord Brahma, his day-by-day calendar must be pretty extensive. He must have a big screen on his computer that he checks to see what he's got to do today. So anyway, it's the grace of Nitai and Gauranga, and we will not think we've got qualification. Rather, we will thank our lucky stars and think, well, yes, Nitai and Gauranga came to the most unqualified, the most uncivilized, not following the Vedic guidelines. And from the Vedas, we are all uncivilized. In the sense we don't follow the Vedic guidelines. Means even before conception, then there are things to do. Conception, there are things to do. Throughout the birth, there are things to do. The birth, there are things to do. And then all the way through, there are these not just traditions, but actually purificatory rites to, and then in the life of a person, then they will also follow within the guidelines of how to lead a civilized life. So Vedas, they have come to show civilization, but Nityananda and Mahaprabhu, and Nityananda more than Mahaprabhu, because Mahaprabhu had some standard to keep up. This was explained, you know, as a sannyasi, there were some things which he couldn't, some that he couldn't accept. But Nityananda, carefree, and Dampati, where are Bengali people? Dampati, Amarinda, I don't know if you know that word, maybe not. His family from the West, means, West India. But Dampati is some word which means don't care, don't care. And we can hear, we're hearing Gurudev saying Dampati, Nityananda Dampati. He doesn't care. He gives mercy without caring. So we can say even more than it being Gauranga's age, it's Nityananda's age. And we just had Nityananda's appearance day. And in Nityananda's appearance day, really there are so many things we can do in a day. We maybe had 4 programs in different ways on Nityananda's appearance day, and we still, haven't covered, a whole bunch of things which have sort of got lined up. That yes, there's so many important things. But one of those important things that we did cover to some extent, excuse me, was Nityananda's Shaktya Vesh avatar of Nityananda is Srila Prabhupada. And what did Srila Prabhupada do? It is amazing. Everyone was amazed by what he did. If we step back, and Gurudev said, those who were envious of him, what is this Srila Prabhupada, this householder, he's doing all this, but Guru Maharaj not envious, Gurudev not envious. The clean-hearted devotees say, proud, as Guru Maharaj expression, saying something, we are proud, something, of what Srila Swami Maharaj Prabhupada has done. And apparent, absolutely apparent in their discussions of Srila Prabhupada's preaching work in the West and his preaching work in the East. They knew Srila Prabhupada when he was writing to, I shouldn't say Mahatma Gandhi, but to Gandhi, the leader of India, the leader of the freedom movement in India. And Srila Prabhupada writing to Gandhi, not one letter. Srila Guru said he wrote different letters to Gandhi, trying to get Gandhi to see he's the leader of society, he's doing so many things, but without Krishna at the top, it'll all be useless and it'll bring an unfortunate end to you. And he came to an unfortunate end, it is true. But Srila Prabhupada's wish to distribute was intense. And when we hear of his going to the West, it was also that he was frustrated with preaching in India. And the strategy was, he will go to the West and give Krishna consciousness, Mahaprabhu's message. And then when the Indians, who very much were looking to the West, and quite likely because India was a closed, first of all, it had been under foreign rule, and so they're looking to this so-called opulence of the West. And then it was a closed country. And so, when you confined to your house, like in COVID, you kind of do look outside the door. Or better example, those of you who've been in prison, we hear from those who've been in prison, you're in the prison, you look through the bars and you're looking outside and you're thinking, oh, the other outside there is much better than here. So India looking to the outside world and thinking it's better, the other man's grass is always greener, and neglecting their own culture, which is all part of Kali Yuga, that the richness of a spiritual culture will be degraded in Kali Yuga. And we've seen India degrade since the first time I went there, which was 1975. I've seen India change a lot. And Gurudev, of course, Srila Gurudev saw India change very much. And when India did open, then gradually things came in. And one thing that came in was MTV, which, in the West, you may think, oh, that's a tame program. Everyone's, you don't have naked people and stuff like that, which, is all over the Western world, even in the family television. I remember when we got a TV, you're sitting with your parents in the evening, and then there's some, not only suggestive, like very suggestive show, and you're sitting with your mother and father, sitting on the couch, and you think, well, the television degraded, but MTV came in, and then other things came into India. And Gurudev said, later on, when he said how quickly India has changed, he said, it is the television. Television has brought this. Anyhow, we are lucky that we didn't have preconceived ideas. And Srila Prabhupada came to the West, where we had basically, we, in the general sense, then there wasn't so much Deva consciousness or Vishnu Narayan consciousness, and so was able to come in and give the Krishna consciousness, and then did bring this Krishna consciousness from the West to the East, and the East did wake up. The East woke up and look at the temples which have happened. Look at the effect of that preaching as it came back from the West to India. And there is no doubt that massively in India, people became Krishna consciousness. To whatever level. Again, you see, we are under the banner of Guru Maharaj and Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada. But Guru Maharaj very famous for his assertion of the gradation of Krishna. Yes, but which Krishna? Also, and in three categories, three broader categories. We've got Dwaraka Krishna, we've got Mathura Krishna, we've got Vrindavan Krishna. But in each category, there are different relationships with Krishna, and so it is some, thank our lucky stars that this grace of Nityananda, which is coming through the Vaishnavas, and Nityananda coming through Srila Prabhupada, and Nityananda is the original Guru. So all of the Guru Vaga, they are representing in one way, they have that current of Nityananda coming through them. Balaram, the original Guru, the original servitor of the Lord, who is engaging others in service. Nityananda, who is more original, Mahaprabhu or Krishna? Well, there we are. Srila Guru Maharaj will be happy to answer that question. And we've seen his face light up very happily to say, who can say? Which comes first, the recruiter or where recruiting to? So this way, which is first, the chicken or the egg? We mentioned perhaps on back to basics the other day. So we'll be in the, we thank our lucky stars department. And we thank our lucky stars, we've got good association in this world. There are so many devotees, and we give respect everywhere, but that we can be with like-minded, clean-hearted devotees who not too caught up in the gyan, not too caught up in some technicality. When there was, I hope it's not, well, I do hear time to time, it still is a thing somewhere. But all this debate to where did we come from? Did we come from Krishna Lila or from Tatashta Shakti? Then quoting from Prabhupada, quoting from Guru Maharaj. And devotees get caught up in these things. Well, we can, if we have, anyway, if we have faith, we can accept what's being said by Srila Prabhupada, and by Srila Gurudev, simultaneously, one and different, so many things. But finally, what does it matter? As Guru Maharaj pointed out, what does it matter to us? When you're I don't mean like you, any of you individually, when we are lying on our deathbed, what does it matter where we had come from? We're going to be a little concerned about where we're going to go in 10 minutes later when we know we're choking up and we're going to leave our body. And what's it going to matter whether the universe is 1 billion miles or kilometers, whatever you want? Yojanas, we'll go for some yojanas, because that's the Sanskrit measurement. So what does it matter when you're lying on your deathbed if the universe is 1 billion yojanas in diameter or 50 billion yojanas in diameter? And you see two people in the corner arguing about the size of the universe, and you're lying there thinking, am I going to get caught in this argument? Am I going to say, no, but I know this because I know Sanskrit is this, but they say something else. What does it matter how big the universe is? What matters is our proper consciousness of seeing the beauty, the sweetness, everything of Krishna behind everything. All of this is coming by the grace of Vaishnava, Guru, Nityananda, Gauranga, to give us the highest fortune, and the guidance has been given. Are we doing that guidance? Are we doing things properly? And ultimately, we must take shelter of the holy name. It's not something just, beginners, they sit and chant Hare Krishna, but we don't have to do that. I don't think that was what Nama Acharya, the teacher by perfect example, that Nama Acharya, Srila Haridas Thakur did. They chanted the holy name. Guru Maharaj chanted the holy name. Gurudev chanted the holy name. So we must maintain our faith in the good fortune that's come to us. Protect the faith, maintain our faith, and build upon it. And so there is some expression, I don't even know, I know what it means, but I don't know what it means, that we must not rest on our laurels, Laurels perhaps. It means we shouldn't just sit back and be satisfied. Yes, I've got, I don't need anything else. We have to be careful to protect and to continue. And the food has been given to us to continue. And we're all here because we want to be reminded so that we do chant our japa, we do offer our food, this other kind of food, we do offer our food to the Lord, that we do try to serve the devotees. not just lip service, but when we get a chance to be with devotees, to help the devotees to do whatever need help. Devotees always need help. Every temple is undermanned as far as I know, except, to all credit again to Srila Prabhupada's Juhu Beach temple, which I reliably heard. There is a waiting list for brahmacharis to join the temple. Right? Maybe if we had a waiting list, it would make it more, oh, there's something very valuable there. But I don't think there's a waiting list of brahmacharis in any of our temple. Oh yes, I want to be a brahmachari and join. So there's lots of service available, dear devotees, all over the world. And anyhow, just as everything in this world, everyone is seeing and looking out for number one, means themselves, which is actually number one, unlimited zeros at the end of the line. But the number one with no zeros at the end is Krishna. And so with the eye to see, with the grace of Vaishnava, Guru and the Lord, then we will be able to see how we can do service in every circumstance. Hare Krishna. Yesterday we had a full day. The devotees are very kind, keeping us busy. But driving back in the evening, in early evening, so we'll be here for Arati, by the way, we drove past, and then one devotee in the car pointed out, said, oh, this here is a junior prison. So what's a junior prison? It's for a prison for people under 21 years old. And I thought that was very sad. And then yesterday, later, we had evening program, and then later, by the way, local mayor came, and a really nice man. And finally, he came. I'd met him before when I'd been in London. And the mayor and his wife came, they're Indian-bodied, and they came through the whole program. And then later on, we're talking, after the program, we took prasad together and we're talking. And later on, just as a side note, he came from Mauritius when he was young. I thought, oh, that's the link. He came from Mauritius, such a sweet man. And he loved kirtan. He knows all about Krishna, but he does. He has so much appreciation. And anyway, I mentioned to him that I didn't know it was in his zone or not, because mayors, that like little kings, or I don't know, kings, but mayor has a constituency, means an area, which they are the mayor of that area. But someone is the mayor of London, and then they got sub-mayors. I don't know how it works. Anyway, I said to him, you've got this prison right here with the young offenders. That really brings compassion in our hearts. What can we do to these young people so that their whole life is not ruined? And then while talking to him, and like immediately the analogy came up. We are like that. We are the juvenile delinquents. We've gone off the track somewhere along the way. And the mood of Nityananda, the mood of Mahaprabhu, the mood of the Gauriya sampradaya is to go and tell others, help others who are misdirected or non-directed. Tell them about Krishna and Krishna's name. Chant Hare Krishna. Do something good for them. And I mean, genuinely, it's very sad to see a juvenile prison that, what, you got, locking up people who are under 21, what are they doing? Very sad. And you naturally, it's some natural feeling. You want to do something good for those people. Well, this is in the spiritual sense, of course. These are all material and analogies and sentiment as opposed to devotion and everything else. But there we get a little glimpse of the Nityananda Mahaprabhu department, which is of mercy. They see the fallen souls, and like the juveniles or like whatever it is, they want to do good for them. And we are those children, however old we think we are the children who are in this world who need shelter, need good guidance, and urgently. Otherwise, we'll grow up to be growing down, growing up to be setting ourselves up for some many lifetimes of different kinds of animals. Just go to the National Geographic channel if you want to see about different animals eating, sleeping, mating, defending. Oh, yes, that's what we do. Oh, so it is. So let us not be animals. Let us not cash in, that sounds terrible. Let us make the best use of the lucky stars that have come to us and happily give honor and respect for everyone in every stage of their lives, of what they're going through. And if we do get that opportunity and find ourselves going to South India, this, that, and the other, always try to see, well, everything everywhere, but at these temples, because they are pure temples, but they're Vishnu temples. They're not exactly our home, but we must learn from everywhere, about the devotional nature. We must see all the good things which are there. But our home is actually Navadip. Our home is Chaitanya Saraswati Bhat. Our home is the affection, the forgivefulness, forgivingness, whatever, there's a proper word I know, of our masters, like overlooking all the faults, and the generosity of giving Krishna prema. But when we're in South India, we know it's, there's another mood, but it's devotional. And the scripture says, and somebody, Sevarupa, she can find it. Somebody can find it. Where it is, it's told, I think it's Chaitanya Charitamrita. There are some quotes that in the Kali Yuga, the Vaishnavas will be born in South India. And we see lots of tendency, Vaishnava tendency in South India. And respect, I mean respect, we're not looking for respect, but respect for the cloth. And then maybe they look for the person inside, but we saw that just like if an army officer will come, everyone salute sort of thing. They don't, is he worth saluting to? Does he, do wrong things in his life? That's not the first thing. It's the first thing is you give the salute. And so in South India, it's like that with the Vaishnavas, many qualities which are like that, which we are witness to. And then we can learn what is, lots of things, but our shelter is Nitai and Golak. And I'm very happy Maheshwari does have a hand up. She's had the hand. She must be doing yoga. And now is the time of the Mahakumbha Mela. And we have seen with our own eyes, we have been with different kinds of yogis who maybe not doing yoga nidra and making planets, but holding up holding up their arm for I don't know how long, years. And this is the claim to fame, getting some power, holding up the arm. And it looks absolutely terrible because the arm has just become bone with the skin around it. It's like this. They sleep with their arm up. They do everything with the arm up. I don't know. I'm not going to go into the detail because I can't figure some of it out. But anyway, their arm is always up. And so it just it's like making oneself disabled, giving oneself
Mutilation.
a disability.
Like mutilation almost.
Oh, yes, mutilation. Thank you. This is a better word. Self-mutilation. But they get some power, and they have heard probably about Hiranyakashipu. He was a great man. And he got power through austerities. And this subtle energy can be exploited just like the gross energy, which we know can be exploited. The universities are full of it. Exploitation of natural resources, exploitation of fauna, exploitation of flora, of these things. It's like the university. I went to university, but when you're going to go to all these courses, geological exploitation, then courses are named that. It's just, yes, exploitation. There's also exploitation of the subtle energy, getting power so you can conquer over your enemy. And people do it today. Anyhow, yes, Mahesh, I know you weren't trying to get powers.
Oh, heavens, no.
Please, let us come to the point.
Okay.
Please, your contribution or question.
Dandavats Maharaj and all friends. Well, two things actually, as you were speaking about the juvenile facility, I wondered, is there any opportunity for the London Temple to offer a program there?
Exactly. That was exactly your wondering was our wondering, and we put that to the mayor too.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful.
Yes. And they may do something. And we were a little bit discussing, and actually in California, I know you're not, you go to California, you're not there just now, but in California, you met Brinda, little Brinda.
Yes.
Yeah, she used to, I don't know if she does it, she used to do a program in the prison in Monterey, I think Monterey prison.
Monterey, yeah.
And she did it in a very subtle way, but she did it openly when she's there, but subtle way of cooking, giving vegetarian cooking classes in the jail, men's jail.
Yeah, nice.
And she really came back with good reports, about the prisoners all have a heart. They just need a little affection and a little caring. And she was teaching cooking with all the time telling about Krishna.
Wow.
And so she's getting this Krishna consciousness. And the prisoners liked her and the prison staff liked her.
Nice.
Which is very good. So there was, yes, I mean, yes or no, I don't know exactly the answer. And there are, things to consider that there are things to consider. They have experience here, and others also have experience where wrong motivated persons have come to the temple. And so we have to be a little careful how it would be done.
Sure.
And, some criminals are criminal. It's not just they got bad association. Some criminals are the ones who are sharing their association happily with others. So it's a little bit tricky when it's around the corner from the temple.
Yeah. True.
So, and often only ladies here, which is also common. So anyway, we'll see what will happen. And I told them, I didn't tell the mayor, but I told our devotees about Brinda and her successful preaching. I think during COVID, she stopped. Whether it started again, I'm not sure. I mean, she had to stop, not that she stopped.
That makes sense. I do have one other question. And this is kind of a practical thing that maybe it's too practical and I just have to go with the flow more. But as I'm reading...
Now you've got me interested. This sounds like an interesting question. Good.
as I'm reading, like right now, dabbling here, I'm trying to tackle Chaitanya Charitamrita. I find I get very confused as to who's who and what's what and when they existed in relation to Mahaprabhu. And
Yes.
I wonder, is there any kind of like family tree? Just like something you can look at and go, oh, okay, this person was an influence. And like there was one in particular, I think I finally figured out that he came prior to Mahaprabhu, and that was Mahavendra Puri.
Madhavendra Puri, yes, he did.
Yes.
Yes, he came prior to him.
Uh-huh. Mhm.
Bit by bit, Maheshwari, you'll understand the relatives.
Okay.
It's like perhaps when you get married and then you've got a whole new uncles and aunts of the husband and everything,
Mhm.
and then at the beginning you kind of get a little bit lost of who's the brother, who's the
Right.
this, that, and the other,
Mhm.
and so we're coming to a whole big family.
Mhm.
And bit by bit you'll get used to it. But there are, I mean, when you say Madhavendra Puri, there's a beautiful article. Actually, it's on, if you search on the MAT website, there is also
Mhm.
the pontifical position of Madhavendra Puri. And Sevarupa is about to give us the link to that, because all we have to look up is the one word, pontifical, and then look up in the dictionary, what does pontifical mean?
Right.
So if we lost the word of the power of awesome, I've never heard of a pontifical ice cream or something yet. So hopefully we can keep some words holy for us.
Okay.
And so anyway, you're asking if there is somewhere. Well, it's Chaitanya Charitamrita, but it's not a physical diagram. I understand fully, and I know. When I was first reading the books, sometimes I'd have to just skip the names because I was entirely lost. There were so many names. But gradually we get to understand what a wonderful family there are of uncles and aunts and nephews and nieces and grand, and the higher hereditary. People are proud to say, yes, I'm a descendant of Alexander the Great, or whatever it may be. But yes,
Right.
Alexander the Great, he was my grandfather's grandfather. I mean, I don't even know when he lived, so I can't say how many grandfathers ago he was. But there are those who like to look back, and then there's always this discussion when older people come together, about their brothers and sisters and their children, and I'm a grandparent or I'm an uncle 6 times over and a great uncle 22 times over, and they're talking about all their relatives. And this is something in the regular world. And it's, by the way, there is the bond of affection. And they talk about it with affection. This affection we need to have for actually Mahaprabhu and his devotees, his family, his associates, because Madhavendra Puri is in the Leela of being like the grandfather, the origin of the sprout of Krishna Prema that Mahaprabhu is coming to give. So then we come to transfer our mundane affections for uncles, aunts, grandfather. My great grandfather, he did this, and my great great grandfather, he did this. But we transfer that to our devotional family, and then we start to find, oh, wonderful. But step by step, don't worry.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, that brought me to the chat. And yes, Gangalila Devi mentioning what she's coming back from hip replacement.
Amazing.
On the other side, yes. And then Ganguly is saying, I heard that Nidra is a goddess, Nidra Devi. I have also heard, and also I heard, and we used to have a phrase in Navadip in the office, this is a no yawning office. And the devotee, I don't know how bona fide it is exactly, but the devotees would say that it's Nidra Devi. I think they were saying Nidra Devi. That when someone yawns, then Nidra Devi comes in the room and everybody gets affected by it. So we would say to devotees, it's a no yawning office. If you want to yawn, go outside. Anyway, in Maheshwari Tantra,
You were talking about the stall next to you teaching a type of yoga that was something, and I said maybe it was tantric yoga. Yeah.
I mean, if you want to go simple and straight, how to improve your sex life.
Yeah, that they were probably teaching tantra.
Which is like the opposite of what yoga is meant to be doing. It's meant to be controlling lust, greed, and usually it's listed first. Lust, greed, anger, all these things. But again, you see the conditioning of the Western world is, no, those are the things we want to increase. And now, yes, so, this is, but right there is just the opposite. I mean, really a little bit shocking. And by the way, if you want to be on a similar subject, there was another place we did a program, and right next to where, actually it wasn't next, well, it was very close to where we were. Again, different tents, astrology and, whatever it is, Reiki healing, and all kinds of, spiritual things. And the biggest queue was one for the free AIDS tests. And there was like a little tent thing, they go in and they're giving free, and that was the busiest place. And that was just near us, here we are trying to do one thing. But it was, again, noteworthy, Kali Yuga. But at the same time, you see people who got a little guilty conscience in the background, think, well, maybe here I can get a free test and just to make sure it's okay. But, we're not really to judge. It's just observation of the way the world is. And more observations here. Sevarupa, she put from, this is earlier. Oh, not very much earlier. Oh, look at the time. How is it we're over time? Anyway, from 11th canto, the quote, my dear king, the inhabitants of Satya Yuga and other ages. Oh, I'm very pleased you brought this up, because this also, it's naturally come up here very recently, actually. My dear king, the inhabitants of Satya Yuga and other ages eagerly desire to take birth in this age of Kali, since in this age there will be many devotees of the Supreme Lord Narayan. These devotees will appear in various places, but will be especially numerous in South India. O Master of Men, in the age of Kali, those persons who drink the waters of the holy rivers of Dravida Desh, such as Tamrapani, Kritamali, Payashvini, the extremely pious Kavari, and the Pratichi Mahanadi, will almost all be pure-hearted devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. So you see, we must be very careful when we are roaming around India, that we do give honor to everyone. And Srila Gurudev said, and we've heard it probably from each of our great masters, that why we must give honor to everyone. We do not know who is a devotee. And anyhow, Krishna is inside everybody's body, so we will give honor. But this is one thing. All right. So here, if you kindly can copy out Maheshwari Didi, there's a link here to SCSM.com docs articles, Madhavendra Puri, pontifical position from the harmonist, scanned. There we are. And then Sevarupa of Google. Am I going to read from Google? I'll read it first silently. Nidra Devi is a Hindu, oh, I'm not reading silently, am I? Is a Hindu goddess who mainly related with night. Her details are found in Rig Veda and also in several ancient sacred Hindu texts. She is mentioned as an affectionate mother and the giver of spiritual power. Anyway, Google and other places, it may be correct, may not be correct. There are 33 million demigods, plus or minus a few. We give our obeisances, we give our respect to them all in perspective of Krishna. So as Bimalakanti mentioned, really Krishna is our heart and soul, and we give honor everywhere. And okay, we're over time, which means we do have the opportunity to at least once say humility, tolerance, giving honor to others, not wanting honor for ourselves. It's not just words. It covers us for life. It's our life guideline, our lifetime ambition. But with that, Kirtanya Sada Harihi. Not that we just do all those things. That will give you good result in the material world. But we are not looking to the material world. We really do want to chant the Lord's name continuously without offense. And by humility, tolerance, giving honor to others. We have heard it probably 1,000+ times. Probably, I mean, really, if you mathematically, calculate. But we've heard it 1 billion+ times of heart transmission of how much Gurudev wants to transmit this message to us all. And let us go on too with our reading of Chaitanya Charitamrita. With Chaitanya Charitamrita, perhaps I can suggest, how we don't only want to read Chaitanya Charitamrita because it can be hard work. But not only because of that, because we do want to read Srila Guru Maharaj and Srila Gurudev at the same time. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita, you're going to be reading Srila Prabhupada. But I could suggest you read the Golden Volcano of Divine Love, which is a short book, but then when you're reading the Chaitanya Charitamrita, you may, this is the section Srila Guru Maharaj is talking about. But you probably find the Golden Volcano of Divine Love to be more flowing to understand the pastimes and the Leela. Well, that is pastimes, but the pastimes and the message, the substance, well, if that's the right word, of Mahaprabhu and his associates. And then as you're reading the bigger books, the scripture, you will come across the detailed things when Srila Guru Maharaj mentions, and Mahaprabhu delivered Jagai and Madai by the grace of Nityananda. It may be just something very short. And then you understand from the reading, oh, Jagai and Madai, they were big sinners and they were delivered. And then you come to read in Chaitanya Charitamrita, then you come to read the Leela, and it's, oh, yes, I read about this. And what wonderful persons Jagai and Madai were. After they were converted. Okay. So anyway, I think that may be a good,
I'll do that.
A good tip to help the flow, unblock any blockage in the flow. But you'll come across wonderful things, Didi. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. Take all of us we must take what we can or digest what we can and keep on going. And all of us, let us remember our fresh, fresh feelings of sadness for the fallen souls in the young, but so much potential in life of a teenager in jail because of misdirection. We are that same young teenager, as it were, children in the jail of this birth, death, old age, and disease. And there are those who want to do good for us and those with capacity to do good. Nitai Gauranga. Let us try to be the reformed juvenile delinquent. And let us try our best. And then to help others. I mean, this is the recommendation. This is how Mahaprabhu said, you chant Krishna Nam, you do this, and tell others. Not just tell others and you don't do it. So let us try our best. Dear devotees, wonderful to be with you all. Oh, I've had the Facebook on my lap because I don't actually have a stand here. But also Mathura Vasini Devi Dasi has been with us, and Kumkum Devi Dasi, and they're all sending obeisances to you all. And I'm sure you are sending obeisances to them too, to you also on so Facebook, Zoom, and the recorded version, to all of you who are attending. And my appreciation to you all that we are able to be together to give each other encouragement on the path, the beautiful path home, and the beautiful path, the beautiful journey to the beautiful home, with the beautiful guidance of Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj, Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rock of Sri Radha Goswami Maharaj, Om Vishnupad Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and our Grand Master of the whole universe and the whole world, us, and the Master of our Masters, Om Vishnupad Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and our whole Sri Rupa Nuga Guru Bhaga, Ki Jai. To all the assembled devotees, Ki Jai. To the Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur, Ki Jai. To unlimited devotees everywhere, Ki Jai. The present day Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Acharya Brinda, the current that's coming through the devotees today, Ki Jai. And Sri Harinam Sankirtan, Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Go. And please, everyone, send extra something special to Ganga Leela Devi Nasi. Quickly recover from your recent surgery. And we're hopeful that really will be very short recovery. We hear that it can be, and that you'll be running around, well, that you'll be mobile in Krishna consciousness. Seva, Krishna conscious seva very soon. Okay, super to see you all. We've been chatting with a couple of
Madhusudan Maharaj ki jai.
Some devotees are very noisy and some devotees are quiet. All right, we appreciate everything very much and have a good week in Seva. We'll meet again soon. I'll try to do my homework before that. Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Gaur. Amaninda Kamala Harini Lindana Priyanana joined us with her flower. And Aparajita, she's been with us all the way through. Now Govinda Farm Ashram devotees, South African devotees, and all who are present. And of course, Bimal Krishna Prabhu and Ishtadevika, their contribution, happiness, the hearts of you all with us. Nitai Vancha Kalpa Turubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namah. Ashchi.